This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Thrown under the bus.
No.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
I'm not okay with that.
It sounded good when I thought.
Log on and join our live conversation.
Yes, I don't like
right.
that.
You're 100% right.
DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, May 29th. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about. I'm here with Stephanie, Tori, Brandon, and I am Sam. Let's get started. Big news coming out of Washington, D.C. Robert Mueller just resigned as special counsel. Moments ago, he made his first public comment since he took over the special counsel inquiry into the Russia investigation. Here's some of what he said.
If we had had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said so. We did not, however, make a determination as to whether the president did commit a crime. A president cannot be charged with a federal crime while he is in office. That is unconstitutional. Even if the charge is kept under seal and hidden from public view, that too is prohibited. Charging the president with a crime was therefore not an option we could consider.
Wow. The president is responding, tweeting, quote, "Nothing changes from the Mueller report. There was insufficient evidence, and therefore, in our country, a person is innocent. The case is closed." So Tori, break this down for us.
Really quick, that's just a little bit off of what Trump said. There's plenty of evidence. Again, very much so, at 400 pages worth of evidence.
34 people were indicted.
Exactly. The problem is, and he said it very clearly, is we can't do anything about it. Now, in the Constitution, it actually doesn't say you can't indict a sitting president, but that's become the Department of Justice policies. So he's following that. However, what he's saying is it's up to you, Congress, because that is in the Constitution, to now take the evidence and either impeach or not. So our eyes are now going straight to Nancy Pelosi. She's the person we're looking for to see if she's going to pull that plug or not.
So this isn't over.
This is not. This seems like it's far from over.
Sorry to wrap that up that way.
Thank you for clarifying, Tori. Really good news for Alex Trebek. It's been 3 months since Alex first shocked fans with this video revealing that he had been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and now he's got an update. Alex told People magazine that he's in near remission, according to his doctors, saying, quote, "The doctor said they hadn't seen this kind of positive result in their memory. Some of the tumors have already shrunk by more than 50%.
Wow.
Stephanie. I mean, this is a 9% survival rate. And for him to say he's almost in near remission, wow.
Stage 4.
I was going to say, this is honestly nothing short of a miracle. Like you said, the survival rate is only 9%. And to say that he only has been diagnosed for 3 months, this is incredible. This goes to show what a positive mindset can do. He's the most positive person ever. But what we need to remember is that he is only partially, it's called partial remission, which is where the size of the tumors have reduced by up to 50%. This, I must stress, this is incredibly rare.
Exactly. But it's so great because we all know someone who suffered from cancer.
Yes.
You know, maybe not this sort of cancer, but have suffered before. And you think about when they're going through the chemo, the deep urges of sadness that they get. He even talked about how he'd be on set and he'd get these really bad spasms and the producers would be like, "Hey, we don't have to shoot. And he'd be like, "No, let's go. We're here. Let's finish shooting." So like you said, that PMA, that positive mental attitude. And I would like to see the champion, that former champion, let them do something where they go up against that guy now.
Ken Jennings and James Holzhauer.
Let them go have a fundraiser, charity.
Great idea, Brandon.
And we celebrate his full remission.
Great
when he
idea.
does it, Alex, we're rooting for you.
It's going to happen.
Brandon always has a producer hat.
That's amazing.
Why am I here? Why am I sitting here?
You're pitching a lot. You do very well.
I should be over there with our producers. Okay. Tori, we'll talk at the break.
All right,
I
talk
got
to
a
my
couple
people.
notes for you.
Okay. Okay, I'm not into it now.
All right. It's been a record-breaking week for tornadoes across the U.S. as severe weather threatens millions again today. Let's get to Kelly Schuberth with the news at the moment.
Sam, a record-breaking tornado pattern is devastating many parts of the U.S., and it is not over yet. For 12 straight days, at least 8 tornadoes have touched down. What you're seeing on your screen is just the latest tornado to hit, this time in Kansas. Look how big that is. Now, homes were destroyed and at least 11 people were injured there, but the good news is no deaths have been reported. Now, today, at least 84 million people across the country are at severe risk for storms. I'll keep you updated.
Wow. Sam, they said that all 77 counties in Oklahoma are in an emergency state. All 77.
Terrifying.
It's an island. There is just a full island. The New York Times, it's people people with horses and they're just boating to get their medicine.
You know, if there's anything that you can donate and if there's anyone you can help, please do. Even small things that you think that might not be needed, like women's menstrual accessories, tampons, let's be honest, like anything like that.
Bras are important.
Bras,
Diapers,
underwear, diapers, towels,
right.
anything. Please help them.
We'll put up some resources for you all to donate on our social pages, so make sure you check that out. And our thoughts and prayers with everybody out there. Very scary. Confessed doper Lance Armstrong had one of the biggest falls ever in sports history, and now the disgraced cyclist is speaking to NBC Sports in an interview that airs tonight. And what he says might shock you. Watch.
I wouldn't change a thing.
Yes.
Because I'm sitting here today, so I wouldn't change that. It was a mistake. It led to a lot of other mistakes. It led to the most colossal meltdown in the history of sports. Think about that. But I learned a lot.
Wow. Now, Brandon, as an athlete, I want to get your opinion. We can all agree what he did was wrong, especially the fact that anybody that opposed his opinion, he ruined their lives.
Absolutely.
He buried them in lawsuits. But what I found was interesting is I did speak to an unnamed source that I can't disclose that's very connected to the cycling industry. And he did say at that time when Lance Armstrong was at his hiatus or at his best, they called that the cycling's dark age because everybody was doping.
Yep.
Does that change your mind about him, considering that he was not the only one doping? In fact, the majority of them were, but he's the one that took the fall for it.
Well, I think we could have forgave him had it just been that. I mean, look at the Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire allegedly on the steroids. We look at that part. If they were ever to come back to baseball, I think baseball would welcome them with open arms, but an asterisk by it. It was the cover-ups.
Yes.
It's the smear campaign.
The denial.
It's the denial and threatening people to keep this ongoing a lie. So he is the biggest disgrace in sports of all time. I don't care who has done anything. He is the biggest disgrace because of that.
That's a great point. America is a very forgiving country. And Michael Vick, if Michael Vick can come back after doing what he did, which I think was reprehensible, you'd think that Lance Armstrong could have said that then. But what he did is, if someone called him a liar at that time, he would, as you said, ruin their entire lives.
Even to this day, Tori, even in this interview, he says, well, what I did was I won, and I have a mentality that is to win at all costs.
See, that's a narcissistic.
It's almost excusing your behavior yet again.
But you've got to think he wasn't the only person in the situation. His coach would have known, the people around him would have known.
But it's how he's handled it again.
It's the cover-up.
You're right. And I think, I was naive to that. I didn't realize that the majority of these cyclists at his level were also doping. But it's how he handled it and how he ruined people's lives that is absolutely unforgivable.
Quick button.
Yes.
And we just talked about Alex Trebek going through partial remission. Lance Armstrong was the face of a movement, the Live Strong movement, and he hid behind that. It's
that makes it
disgraceful.
more
Absolutely,
disgraceful.
it's so disgraceful what he did. I don't care what he has to say.
All right, well, hey, all right, chime in, DBL Nation. We want to hear from you as well. We have to give a big DBL shout out to 22-year-old Cody, who is both blind and autistic. His mom escorted him onto the stage to perform for America's Got Talent judges, and you gotta see his performance.
I'm Cody.
Hi, Cody.
I'm Cody. I'm gonna sing a song for you on the piano. I've been to so many places in my life and time. I've sung a lot of songs, and I made some bad rhymes. From every mountain.
This is
my God.
beyond it. I got goosebumps watching him. This is beyond inspirational. What a talent. He deserves that gold buzzer tremendously, not just because he's autistic or blind, just his pure and utter talent.
Yeah.
And to see ability within a disability, what a beautiful
statement.
That's what you
say that again.
To see the ability within the disability.
Love that.
People only see the disability.
Yeah.
I was only going to say, that boy good.
That's also good.
All right, well, a galaxy far, far away is now closer than ever thanks to Disneyland's new Star Wars theme park, Galaxy's Edge. We're getting our first look at the incredible 14-acre park that reportedly cost a staggering $1 billion to build. It brings to life the planet of Batuu. Yes, is a Jedi's dream come true. Fly the Millennium Falcon in a really new interactive smuggling mission. Build your own custom lightsaber, stop for a drink at the cantina, and definitely grab all the gear you can. And check out this Instagram post from John Boyega showing the amazing cast of Batuu inhabitants ready to bring the experience to life. The park opens in California starting May 31st and in Florida at the end of August. I get to go here in a week. I'm so excited.
Sammy.
And you have to get a reservation, so it's free. The reservation's free. It's still costly to get into the park, but once you're in the park, you can get that reservation. Now it might be too late to get that reservation, but starting in June, anybody can go.
So when you get there, is there like a time restriction in the
Yes,
park?
I have 4 hours. I get 4 hours to go there, and the cast members will be smugglers. They'll be playing rebels, and you'll get to see them fighting.
Cool.
And there's so many cool things. I mean, to ride the Millennium Falcon and all those things, I'm so excited.
That's a family thing. I couldn't do that.
Why?
I'm not taking no date there. She got Princess Leia buns in her hair.
Wait, but
and
Han
stuff
Solo
like
was
that.
one of the hunkiest bachelors of all time. Star Wars is like hot.
I think Star
Right,
Wars is
nerds?
hot too.
Yeah.
You can go to the cantina.
Yeah.
They're gonna have the
That's the only place I'm gonna go. But I mean, there's Applebee's to go drink at a cantina. Like, what am I gonna do?
Brandon, look at that.
Can we get a
think it looks
DBL take? If
amazing.
someone's gonna take a date to this,
Yeah,
I would say that would be
100%
an
be into that.
amazing
Would you love
day.
to be taken out on a date here?
I've never been to Disneyland, so I've got no experience. Disney World, I've
You'll
never
love it.
been.
It's
But
fantastic.
if someone wants to take me, hey, I'm totally gonna go.
says the girl that wanted to be captured by aliens yesterday. So yeah, take her to Star Wars.
Take me!
All right, DBL's live. We'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, we've got the contender for what could be the worst first pitch ever in baseball history. We'll show you. Plus, an unlikely friendship forged within the walls of a hospital. Find out what makes a janitor's bond with a brave kid so incredible in today's Heart Threads. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Americans love the great outdoors, but should hikers who get lost have to pay for their own rescues? Your comments up next.
Best feed.
Hi there, DBL Nation. Happy Wednesday. Kelly Schubert here with the DBL digital team. I'm, of course, tracking all the breaking and trending news, including those severe storms that are moving across the U.S. I'm going to be tracking those all day. But let's go to the desk and see what Tori's doing. Tori, what's up?
Whoa, excuse me, your lipstick is making me stop, collaborate, and listen. Tell me what, is it Pink Rose Frosty? No, okay, so that didn't work. I would love to go to a date to Star Wars.
I think that would be the best date.
First, Kelly has to what?
Watch Star Wars.
I don't understand.
But I would still go to the theme park and think it was cool.
How do you don't see Star Wars? Write us in, what would be your favorite
really
part
that
of the
good?
Star Wars? It's the basic of good and evil in our lives. I think you should write us in to tell us your favorite part that you'd want to go. Cantina? Would you want your custom lightsaber?
Yes, I want
And
that.
also, what would you put on your custom-made lightsaber?
I know what a lightsaber is.
Now, who gets to hold the lightsaber?
Luke.
What group of people?
Luke and his people.
That's right. What are they called?
Jedi.
That's it. She got it right off the top of her head.
Wow.
So let us know. I think I would customize mine with a laser of Seabiscuit on the saber. So I could be like, zoom, underdog, zoom, look like a quarter horse, zoom, one Santa Anita after being injured.
I
zoom.
see. So it's like a sneak attack.
Yeah,
I
or at least
see.
it builds me up.
It makes you feel like it's going to be a sneak
It does.
attack. Yeah,
So let us know what
yes,
you would
yes.
custom.
What would you put
your
on it?
lightsaber?
Tell us.
What would you, Alex? Do you know? What would I put on it? Yeah. What would you custom make?
Is it weird that I want to say pie? I've been talking about pie since like 9 a.m.
Dessert? Or
Yes. The dessert pie. I want pie right now. Apple. We were talking about apple pie.
We were talking about apple pie this morning.
She gets an apple pie, takes the lightsaber with the apple pie, and cuts the pie.
Yes.
Now we got whoosh.
Give us your DBL take.
Yes.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome back to DBL. The woman who survived 17 days lost in Hawaii forest is speaking out about the whole ordeal. Listen.
This whole thing is bizarre. This whole scenario is bizarre. You know, I mean, people are like holding me up as a hero, and I don't feel that way.
State-funded rescue operations were called off for Amanda Eller after 3 days because of the expense, but fortunately, she had friends and family who continued the search. Amanda didn't have supplies or a phone, which has some bringing up the cost of finding unprepared hikers. So DBL Nation, you're the 5th host. We want your opinion. Should lost hikers have to pay for their own search and rescue? Ooh, this is a good one. Let's get right to your comments.
Barb from Facebook says this is definitely one of those situations where a person chooses to put themselves in a dangerous situation. Clearly, they don't care for their safety. Why should I? I see you, Barb.
Danny on YouTube is not so sure. He says, I'm on the fence about this one. On one hand, accidents happen, but there are also people that should know better than to test their limits to this extremity. I'm with Brandon on this. If you go out there and you get hurt, you got to pay. If you pay for your own ambulances, it's just something you take that risk.
Susan on Twitter says people pay for ambulances. I think this makes sense. Coming from a country where we pay taxes that contribute towards these things, I don't agree, but fair point.
Ooh, okay,
Nice.
Let's get Nancy in here. Nancy from Facebook says, where's the humanity? My husband hikes and I would spend an arm and a leg to find him if he gets lost. Nancy, I'm with you on this one. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Okay. Arlamia. Arlamia. Yep. That's a place in Florida, isn't it? From Twitter, she says, why should communities have to pick up tabs for those who are not taking responsibility for their own safety? I understand accidents happen, but man.
Okay. Harriet on Facebook says, sure, this is risky behavior, but technically so is driving a car. There's a risk in everything we do. That doesn't justify abandoning people out in the wilderness. Agree, but if you're in a car crash again and the ambulance comes, you do end up paying for that ambulance. So there's something called a moral hazard, and if you don't have to pay for it, you might make more scary, adventurous choices that you might not be prepared to do so.
And I read in New Hampshire that there's this thing, if you're a hiker or you participate in outdoor activities, you can buy a voluntary hike safe card and you won't be held liable for rescue costs, even if they're deemed negligent. But you still have to pay expenses if you're found to be acting recklessly. So I think this is insurance.
Like an insurance.
It's an insurance policy.
Yeah,
but why is this woman being called a hero for getting lost?
You guys.
You're not a hero for getting lost.
Okay, I think anybody runs the risk, if you go hike, anybody runs the risk of perhaps getting lost. You can call it negligent, you can call it what you will, but to survive 17 days on your own, I think deserves the title of a hero.
You're a survivalist, not a hero.
I think it deserves the title of a hero. She was able to resource what to eat, what to drink, the mental capacity. She had a fractured ankle. She had a skin infection.
Sam.
That's heroic.
Avengers are heroes.
So is she.
Dr. Martin Luther King was a hero. This is somebody who walked down the path without a phone, got lost, and a downward dog for 17 days.
No.
How many sun salutations did you do to get
out of this? You know?
All right.
Good one, Tori. Good job.
It's her first good one.
All right.
It's the first one.
Thank you.
She was in the woods with the girl practicing.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Thank you for writing in, DBL Nation. We love hearing what you have to say. Comedian Chris Kattan is making some shocking claims in a new book. Raquel Villanueva has the details at this moment.
Well, Sam, Chris Kattan says Saturday Night Live creator Lorne Michaels pressured him into sleeping with a potential director of the movie A Night at the Roxbury. In his new memoir, Baby Don't Hurt Me, Kattan claims Michaels encouraged him to be with Amy Heckerling, the director of Clueless, so she would commit to his film. He says they did have sex on, quote, a casting couch, and he was afraid of the power she and Michaels had over his career. Heckerling eventually signed on to the movie as a producer, and Kattan says the incident ruined his relationship with co-star Will Ferrell. Now, a spokesperson for SNL denies the claims, and Heckerling hasn't responded.
These are just allegations, but I already find the response to these allegations so different than how we respond to female alleged victims. Already people are criticizing him, are pointing out that he's a liar, allegedly. That's what people are saying. When in reality, what would happen if we said that to a female alleged victim?
Kristen Wiig happened to say that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be completely different. And I think, you know, he said that he did that to try and convince her to stay within the project and keep the project going. So he did it obviously for the financial gain of everyone. And I mean, it just goes to show it goes both sides of the street. It's not just only aimed towards women.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
We call double standards out.
Yeah. All right. Coming up on DBL, a caught on camera first pitch for the record books, and not because it was a good one. We'll show you the video that's going viral, but first, a Heart Threads all about the powerful friendship between a child patient and an adult janitor. Their inspiring story is next.
This. Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about friendship. Watch how a little boy in the hospital made a lifelong friend during treatment.
This 5-year-old patient made a special friend in the hospital janitor. Cooper was born with a condition that affects his digestive system. He has been in and out of the hospital his whole life. Janitor Gregory Watson cleaned Cooper's room during one of those stays. One day, Gregory invited Cooper to get some popcorn, and a friendship formed.
I love the kids.
Now, even when he's out of the hospital, Cooper asks to visit and see his friend.
What's up, buddy?
Good.
Where my hug at? Come on now.
Gregory has rubbed off on Cooper, who acts as a janitor in his home.
He's told me that he's Gregory, and our floors are very clean right now.
It's a special bond that started over popcorn.
He was my best friend.
Gotta love Heart Threads. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Guys, wasn't that a great Heart Threads? My heart sings when I see people, little kids in hospitals making friends or having an experience that isn't so harsh because their lives are just poked all the time. So what a great story. Some of you wrote in about, a lot of you wrote in about, should hikers pay for their own rescue? I just want to read that. Stacy Sorber also says, on my lightsaber, I would have it say karma. I love that. I would put, what would Princess Leia do is what Raina would put. WWPLD. Anyway, XOOX says, Americans make us pay for everything that's out of our control. Brandy Sprong says, my aunt fell, broke her ankle on a hike in Colorado, and she had to pay for her own rescue. XOOX certainly disagrees and says she's not a hero. Speaking about Amanda Eller, who went for a 3-mile hike, ended up 17 days with a fractured foot and no shoes, surviving and being found and rescued alive. Rainey said, my boss broke his foot on the way to Machu Picchu. He had to be carried for 3 days by Sherpas. That's when you love the Sherpas. The Sherpas are always underrated. Don't heroes help others? She helped only herself. Interesting point. And everyone else is saying how much they love us, which is very sweet of you guys.
People who saved her are heroes.
Did you all hear that?
I just don't think she should be considered a hero. I think it was irresponsible of her to go without a phone or without
water,
things you're supposed to go on. And she seems like someone who hikes a lot, so this is just the time it happened and this is the time she got lost. Like, it could have been terrible for her. And I do think she's a strong woman, don't get me wrong. That's awesome that she survived 17 days, but hero is just not the word I would use.
So what word would you use instead? Survivalist? Like
yes.
What Brandon was saying, more
or,
survivalist.
I don't know if I can say the word. Can I say that?
Yeah. Bad.
She's a bad.
She's a girl.
She's a bad girl.
Yeah,
you know,
dangerous.
she's awesome. Like, this woman's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think she's a hero.
I also think to me, just the vernacular is wrong. Only because heroes are out there selflessly doing something for others.
That's how I feel.
So I do, and I for some reason.
I don't know. It just bothers me to call her
For some
a hero.
reason.
She's a strong, awesome woman,
but she didn't save anything else. I don't think she saved anybody else.
Can you imagine being alone in the wilderness,
No, that's not
surviving a flood, a flash flood, breaking her ankle for 7? Well, you can call her a survivalist or a hero, but I find it odd that we're debating what to call someone that is alive and well after a 17-day, I'm sure, horrific situation. I just think it's odd how we're all so nitpicky about a word. That's what's odd to me.
When I think hero, I think they're helping others and they're saving someone.
Why do we care? Why can't we just give her the accolade of surviving? Why do
We can.
Because it can encourage others to not be more careful.
Well, I think that's an important.
Yeah, like, let's call her a hero for getting her phone. You know what I mean? Like, it's,
I feel like we're being too nitpicky. But that's
maybe, and maybe
Okay,
we are.
let us
Maybe
know
we
what
are.
you
Let us know what
think.
you think, DBL Nation. Thanks, guys. Nope.
Welcome back to DBL. First pitches at baseball games rarely go well. Just ask this White Sox employee who hit a photographer at yesterday's game. The viral video has already racked up more than 2 million views, but don't feel too badly for her. Many people have messed up the opening pitch. Here we go, like rapper 50 Cent, who threw this cricket ball in 2014. Yep. Or how about this sad throw from Miss Texas in 2016? The Howard Stern Show even put together a fake documentary about producer Gary Dell'Abate's pitch in 2009. See, it happens to the best of us.
That would be me, without a shadow of a doubt. That would be me.
How did it go left? I don't know. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.